wise man once said, the will to win, the desire to succeed,
What takes guts is to put yourself on the line.
the urge to reach your full potential.
A leader makes the way.
These are the keys that will unlock the door to personal excellence. Success Resources is the world's leading events promoter of business, personal development, and wealth creation programs. For over 30 years, we've helped over 10 million people across 30 countries unlock their full potential. From North America, to Europe, to Africa, to Asia, to Oceania, we are the key to your personal success. We open the door to the world's best speakers, such as Anthony Robbins, Sir Richard Branson, Robert Kiyosaki, and T. Harv Eker, to name a few. Praised by Donald Trump for being the world's best, we have over 500 events a year and access to the greatest thinkers, achievers, and motivators of our time. We guide you to the success that lies in every one of us.
But you will not discover your greatness in your comfort zone.
You have to have confidence in yourself.
We have never really truly reached our destination. There's always another level to strive for. Your best is yet to come. Success Resources, your learning partners.
Hello everybody. Welcome to Friday. Let's finish Friday fruitfully because tomorrow is a weekend. Thank God it's Friday. Let's have an amazing day today. Now, US just released the CPI number for February and the data come out worse than expected. How is the market reacting and what about Bitcoin? So let's discuss. My name is Richard Tan. I'm very happy to be here and welcome once again to another Bitcoin journey to 100,000. We are the world leading education provider every week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. This is streamed live on Facebook, YouTube, and every week we make videos tracking the incredible journey of Bitcoin to 100,000. So if this is a journey that you like to learn and follow, make sure you subscribe to the channel, thumbs up, smash the button, and also the notification bell so that whenever we do a video, you are the first to know. I'm very happy and delighted to bring my very hardworking, energetic, passionate friend, Dr. Clemen Chiang, to the program. He's an authority in financial investing and a very well-known teacher to many thousands and thousands and thousands of students all over the world in the art of wealth creation. Dr. Clemen Chiang is not only a teacher, but friends to many of us here and has influenced and helped us in the area of wealth creation. Welcome, Dr. Clemen.
Wow, Richard. You know what day is today? Is TGIF, but more importantly, Richard, I need you to announce how many episodes have we done on YouTube?
Well, I can tell you that it's not 10, it's not 20, it's not 30, it's not 40. Bitcoin journey to 100,000 today is our 50th episode, not counting the rest that we have done in the past. It is 50th episode today.
Wow, that's a big milestone. 50 episodes, 3 times a week, non-stop action, regardless of thunder, lightning, and rain. Richard and myself are here together with the team from Success Resources. We are so proud of all of our teammates for putting this together. And most importantly, we are so proud of you for following with us. Over 50 episodes, Bitcoin spiking all the way to 100,000. Yes, we are excited about Friday. And today we got many points to cover and connect the dots. Yes, Richard, let's get started.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Everybody is anxious to know about the inflation, especially in this time of war, right? So US just released the CPI number for February. The data come in worse than expected. The consumer price index for February, rose to 7.9%, close to 8% from a year ago. This is the highest level in 40 years since 1982. So, Dr. Clemen, question is this: what else is happening beside the war, and what is the impact of the war and inflation and CPI number to the ordinary people? How best can we handle this?
That's a really, really intelligent question, Richard. You know, there's really a lot of things happening. And I was just sharing with my students last night, in my 20 years of investing in the market, I've never used up so much brain juice in less than 1 year, which is this year right now. So many things hitting us at the same time. And how do we make sense of what exactly is taking place? So step number one, we're going to take a look at a very important data point. I call it the 4 I's. The first I, alphabet I, stands for inflation. Quick check. We started off with November 6.8%, December 7%, January 7.5%, and February, just out last night, 7.9%. In fact, we were predicting to break above 8%. Why? Invasion of Russia into Ukraine started on 24th of February. We had 28 days in the month of February. That only really contributed 4 days into the inflation. So by which next month, when they announced the inflation report for March, we expect it to break 8%. Things are getting hotter and hotter as it stands. So step number one, we're looking at inflation of 7.9% right now at its peak. Step number two, next Tuesday and Wednesday, we're looking at FOMC meeting. Probably Chairman Jerome Powell will announce an interest rate hike of 25 basis points. He kind of hinted about this number earlier part of this week, and thereby we are looking at 0.25% increase of whatever mortgage payments that you're paying off to your banks today. Number two. Number three, the third I stands for the invasion of Russia into Ukraine. And this is not cooling off at all, totally not cooling off at all. I flip over right now to Twitter. As you can see, you know, more and more updates are coming on the fact that Russia is not going to cease fire. Many refugees are crossing across the border out of Ukraine. We are talking about 2 million refugees being displaced by this Russia-Ukraine war. Now, this is really going totally nuts at this moment. And I want to highlight to you, all of you listeners, there's something that's really gone crazy. The narrative is always about US and the allies taking the right stand to fight for Ukraine. And I'm going to kind of scroll down right here as I pick out the latest news. You're going to see a picture of a politician, all right? Here we go. And this politician is screaming out, "Holy moly, can you believe while children, babies, women are dying?" He's saying that right over here. While most US officials have expressed support for allies in Kyiv, Madison Cawthorn said Volodymyr Zelensky is a thug, leading an evil government. This guy came from where? This is a Republican. And right now, we are beginning to see the change of tide. Because while everyone is supportive of Ukraine within the politics, there are people standing up for Putin and calling Zelensky a thug. A thug doesn't hide in the bunker. A thug will wear a pair of sunglasses, smoke a cigar, and throw bombs at you. I don't see Zelensky as a thug. And you have a politician that's part of the Trump administration calling Ukrainians a thug. That's how crazy it is right now. You cannot even go crazier than this. And we are on the third eye invasion, and we are not done yet. Because straight off the market collapsed last night because the ceasefire talk failed. They sent a puppet to meet up with Ukrainian foreign minister, and they said this is a joke. That guy got no authority at all. It is a joke. And while they are sending this puppet to kind of organize a ceasefire talk, they are bombing the schools, the hospitals, and children are dying. So the market kind of crashed last night. We are really looking tight on the energy stocks as well as the commodity stocks. And this is the part where, you know, when two of the politicians, I mean, one from Ukraine, one from Russia, no progress. The moment this statement came out, the market responded straight away. I want to show you guys what I meant by the market. So right over here, this is ExxonMobil. all right? And we look at a 5-day chart, and you can see how crazy it is. ExxonMobil starts to move up the moment the ceasefire failed. So we are expecting energy price, or in fact, crude oil per barrel, to start shooting up to hit the previous all-time high at $150 per barrel. Now, Putin puts a benchmark price. He believes that this sanction coup continues on, crude oil will hit $300 per barrel. Now, what have we done with the information? We straight away look into one company, which is the #1 nutrient for food. And this is the company called Mosaic. Right? We took a position on Mosaic. Yesterday night, we kind of exited out of it, made about $19,930, 20% profit in one day. And this is one of our strategy called DEC. I'll spend some time talking to you about DEC, but let's take a look. What is the volatility of DEC yesterday? Here we go. Look at this. Let me just type in, Mosaic. Mosaic is the name of the stock. And this was what happened last night. Here we go. So we were doing live trading last night. And the moment ceasefire kind of collapse, boom, straight away, it dropped right over here. And we sold off at this point here to get out with a profit. Immediately we take a profit, we say something is wrong. And thereafter, as the market passes through, it began to shoot up, boom. Because one guy came on CNBC and commented, we are officially right now in a food crisis. And the company that will solve this food crisis is this company called the Mosaic Company. Within one single comment, one super green candle pops up right over here. So this is the volatility of the market. So everybody, let's sum it up. #1, inflation. #2, interest. #3, invasion. #4, investing styles. There are numerous opportunities. We can still take a look at the market. Don't be frozen by all these things that are bombarding us. All the more, we must alert and say, I need to find opportunity right now to make some money. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Well, so with all these things around, many things can happen. Either you freeze or you can take an opportunity. So, Dr. Clemen, as the just price dropping, and in this wartime zone, many people are worried, etc. But the views, there's an article that came out that that shows that the online on-chain data shows that View are actually buying up a lot of Bitcoins and Ethereum and other cryptocurrency. So even in times where prices are dropping and there's a lot of fear in the market of inflation and every other thing, not everybody behave the same way. Some people are fearful and they, like you say, they freeze, and some even felt sorry for themselves. But some people are happy because they saw the opportunity. Now, question to you, Dr. Clemen, is this: what is the difference between these two groups of people, and what can we learn from the wheel?
Wow, that's a on fire question. And all of you really got to take heed from this powerful question coming from Richard. In a situation like this, you have two choices. Choice #1, what most of the ordinary people, I'm talking about the John Doe and the Jane Doe and the Tom, Dick, and Harrys of the world, they'll just froze. They won't do anything. They won't step up. In fact, I'll tell you about step #2, the choice #2 that you should embark on. All the more in times of a crisis like this, you must ramp up your personal activity. Totally ramp up. Whatever you've been doing, increase by 100 times. Do more. Keep your mind occupied. Now, a few things I kind of started off during this invasion. #1, I realized that I really need a much sharper, clearer mind. So right now, Richard, I'm imposing on myself a very strict 1,500 calorie intake per day.
Wow.
Absolutely strict. Everything I go around, I just ask my wife, Nicole, can this food be scannable on the barcode? If the food cannot be scanned and I cannot calculate the calorie, that's it. I'm not going to take it. That's how religious I'm about on this. #2, I return back to my past routine, that is to consume or to walk 10,000 steps a day.
Wow.
So straight off, I take up this challenge together with my boys, and I say, look, we got to lose weight, we got to step up, and we're going to have a target. And the target is to take picture of our tummy every day. and this is one of the really mind-blowing thing. It's kind of a psyche thing. And you know, I back to wearing my eye wash. And this eye wash, I kind of like this color, red and green, reminds me of the stock market, green and red candle. And really, I'm just keeping pace on this routine. Number 3, most important of all, we must step up our activities in money. Do not froze, because you guys already know the answer today. Inflation is 7.9%. The banks are paying you an interest of 0.05%. You are net negative 7.85% every year for being froze, for not doing anything with your money kept at the bank. You are absolutely going to die, because this is the absolutely fact facing all of us right now. That's the reason why, if you take at the big players, they double up all their activities. As the price dips, whales grab significant amount of Bitcoin, Boom, ETH and Shiba Inu. And I want to go down right over here. It's called Whale Stats FTM, which all of you can access as well. I mean, Whale Stats FTM, I go to my Twitter, kind of a search for Whale Stats FTM at Whale Stats FTM. Boom, click on it, and you're going to see the same thing right over here. All this data point that's coming in. So all this information is already been presented to you. Now, if you do not know how to stay focused, look at something as simple like this. Will just bought 107 Bitcoin, which costs $4.2 million, like this. And you click on the transaction hash, you can kind of go and verify it. So all this data is already available to us, open to us, and there's no reason you come out with an excuse that, oh, I do not know what to do. I got caught here in the headlight, and I just can go out there in my vicious cycle into depression, into desperation, and I'm not going to see anything out there. Wrong. All the more, I want to encourage all of you, hang out with us 3 times a week out of the 7 days, which is good enough. Hang out with us and be kind of injected with all these powerful ideas coming from Richard and coming from me replying to his question. Stay on the game. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Well, today is Friday. Friday is question and answer day. So if you have any question for Dr. Clemen, please post it on the question and answer or on the chat there. So okay. So today is question and answer, and if you have any question on investment, especially in the crypto area, please post on question and answer and on the chat. Wow. Okay. Now, Dr. Clemen, Michael Saylor is no stranger to many of us because he's like the very positive and very strategic supporter of Bitcoin. And Michael Saylor recently, in an interview, he argued that Bitcoin is a risk-off asset. Now, question is that, what is the meaning of a risk-off asset, and why Michael Saylor argued that Bitcoin is a risk-off asset?
Yes, absolutely fascinating, because this is the concept right now that's really floating all across the tweets on Twitter. So let's take a look at this really important concept. Richard asked a question, what exactly is a risk-off? I'm going to read out to you the 3 bullet points here. Number 1, which captures the essence of it all, Bitcoin price has posted over 200% gains since January 2020. I mean, we backtrack all the way to just before the pandemic. If you guys remember, we had the pandemic started on Valentine's Day, the year 2020, 14th of February, where, you know, World Health Organization officially declared we entered into a stage of epidemic. So over here, since the pandemic started until right now, 200% gains. And what we should do is to compare these 200% gains starting from 1st January 2020 and look across the entire asset class, or everything that you can think about: gold, silver, aluminum, commodities, stocks, futures, indices, ETF, and ask, which one is able to beat this record? That's it. A simple question like this. All right. Now, your traditional banks will not offer to you Bitcoin because they want to pay you, continue to pay you, and willingly to pay you 0.05% of the money you kept with them per year basis. While the main part of the money they'll take to invest elsewhere to make more money for the banks. So you are looking at this, and we are preaching to you the fact that you should come on board and become a self-directed investor. Take charge. Because by not taking charge, you're already net negative to begin with anyway. So this is the concept of risk off. And despite a strong correlation with equities, Bitcoin posted consistent gains during the Russia-Ukraine war. What? Do you know the Wall Street right now is declared the Red Sea? And, you know, we've been calling up Moses. He refused to pick up our phone calls. And, you know, we need Moses to open up the Red Sea right now. It's terrible time. There are only 2 sectors. In fact, 3 sectors to be exact, out of the 11 sectors that's green. Number 1, what we call the defense stocks. And the defense stocks is, I was sharing just last night, do we want to get our hands stained with blood? I mean, you are investing into a military operations kind of a public company that's going to build missiles, build bombs to kill lives. So we look at one of the military company yesterday, and we kind of fell in love with it. We say, instead of killing people, I want to invest in the defense stock that will protect people. Now, bring back your memory to the days when the Palestinians were firing mortar shells or rockets into Israel. And Israel is kind of a shooter. I mean, it's like non-stop, hundreds of missiles just keep firing into Israel. They were defended by the Patriot missile system called the Dome system. That is a company we love to invest. The second sector that's kind of booming at this point in time, that's energy sector. And we're talking about Warren Buffett putting money into Chevron, into Occidental Petroleum. We're putting money into ExxonMobil. And all these great oil companies take a very strategic move. Get out of Russia. You kill people, we're going to get out of your country. They made the right move. The market rewarded them. The stock price is moving up all the time. And finally, the third sector is what we call the commodities. We are looking at all 8 layers of the metal on the periodic table. And, you know, we were discussing, and I'm going to put out a thesis on this very soon, the conundrum between nickel versus lithium, both of which controlled by the Russians. And right now it's affecting everybody, down from the supply chain of semiconductor chips all the way to electric vehicle. And Wall Street analysts are calling the bluff of Ford and General Motors. You cannot produce that number of cars because the lithium and the nickel right now is severe shortage. You cannot buy from the Russians. How are you going to manufacture the car? So there's a big topic right now on nickel, cobalt, aluminum, I call it NCA. Then the other camp is lithium ferrophosphate, LFP. Now, my Tesla came from Shanghai. We are on the lithium side of the camp. All right. So this is what we call commodities. And of course, we also look at food commodities like wheat. So coming back to the third point, analysts are bullish on Bitcoin, predicting a rally in the asset. Why would the president in the middle of the war think about crypto? We asked this question on Wednesday. And we say, what the heck? He should be thinking about visiting Saudi Arabia, Venezuela, Iran, and talking about oil. But in the middle of nowhere, I say, hey, we got to look at crypto right now because there's a leakage. And regulation is positive. Because coming to here, this is the part that the moment we have a Russian sanctions, it means that countries will start to move into Bitcoin reserve. Remember, we talked about earlier days. In fact, let me share with you the founding days of Singapore. You know, I read this book by a founding father, Lee Kuan Yew. And since independence, 1965, the first thing our founding father did is this. He tasked our finance minister, Goh Keng Swee, you need to go out there to buy gold bars. Why? Because we're going to launch the Singapore dollar. And what Goh Keng Swee did, he found the seller on a piece of paper. They wrote some numbers, tear the piece of paper into 2 parts. The seller brought the paper back to Switzerland. Goh Keng Swee take the paper, return back to Singapore, arrange for the flight to Switzerland. And in Switzerland, they take the two papers out, match, confirm this is the buyer and the seller. That's how Singapore bought our first batch of gold bars to pledge against our Singapore dollar. I'm telling you this story because right now, people are not buying gold bars. People are buying Bitcoin. And that is the language of what we call Bitcoin reserve. And this report came out from Pantera CEO. Pantera is the monster in the area of ICO. They are deep in the knowledge of blockchain, and their portfolio companies are generating phenomenal profits. So I'm going to switch over right now to Bitcoin Treasury.org, and I want to give everyone a kind of a language. What language are we talking about? Why all this risk-off asset of Bitcoin? What exactly we are talking about? Here we go. Step one. These are the ETFs. They control 3.876% of the 21 million fixed supply of Bitcoin. Now, these are the countries they control 1.292%. The public companies control 1.221%. And the private companies 0.829%. Now, we are looking at what? What is this number that we are really chasing about? Here we go. Today, from the country to the ETF to the private companies, they control only 7.266%. Now, these are declared. Many of them bought on the stealth. You would not know the answer, all right? But I'm telling you, do you want to wait for 7.266% to go to 20, 30, 40%, then you take your first step? It is too late. You are right now looking at a virgin number. This number will start to climb, and they will not declare to the statistics. The countries, one by one, will start building up their percentage holding of Bitcoin, because this will be the digital gold reserves that Pantera CEO was talking about. This is the direction going forward. So as you can see, in the middle of the war, President Joe Biden decided to take a look at crypto. The more the president look at it, the more you should think about it, because that is desperation. And the same language that he told everybody that oil drillers in US will start pumping oil. That's rubbish. It takes about 12 to 18 months to start the first drop of oil. You don't just press a button and then the oil will drip. It doesn't happen that way. So you can hear the desperation already. And that's the reason why the window becomes smaller and smaller for those of you who want to take all night long. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Dr. Clemen, you know, the market are always very fearful of regulation and especially compliance, etc. Now, the very big giant compliance actually came from just 2 days ago when President Biden signed an executive order regulation. Now, this executive order is asking all the department of the US, you know, every department to work together and come up with a standardized agreement and clarity for cryptocurrency. A professor from Cornell University actually made a comment after Biden's executive order. He says that all these things could actually benefit crypto industry. Can you explain to us why is this Cornell professor saying these things? What is the basis?
Absolutely. This is again one of those fascinating moments of truth, and it is very consistent with what the Gemini twins have also put out on their social media. Step number one, the moment you have the president looking at this space, you know the government is interested in it. So this is the hidden message. Why would the president look into an executive order for crypto industry in the middle of the war? That is the number one point I want to highlight to all of you. Whatever he's looking at it right now is urgent and desperate, because he realized he's too slow into the game. And he got to spot on right now. Step one. Step two, the keyword is regulations. Now, regulations is very much required for anything to scale and grow big. You need to work along the rules of law. So regulations is always positive. The moment you set around the boundaries, you know, normal people like us, we are extremely happy. But there's one group out there that is very, very fearful of regulations. And who are they? They are the thieves, the scammers. They are the people who cheat people money all the time. They will not be sleeping well from this moment onward. The moment the word regulations pop out, no more Wild Wild West to them. Good news to every one of us here, normal folks. And number three, legitimacy. This is what we have been fighting for since the year 2008. And finally, they put this word on. It means that all of you, all of us who own Bitcoin, any other cryptos that's part of the regulation, you're going to sleep damn well at night. You're not going to wake up and say, oh no, they're going to seize my Bitcoin, they're going to seize whatever is in my wallet. No, it's not going to happen that way. It's a very steady, gradual process. So I give you a case in point. You know, Singapore crypto law is also catching up. And those of us who got crypto exchanges set up in Singapore, like for example, crypto.com, Gemini.com, and so on, they have sent us an email. And the email is requesting for us all the wallet addresses that we want to send and receive our cryptos. And I submitted to them. I said, these are my string of wallet addresses, one whole chunk of them. And it took them about 14 days to come back and say, your address or addresses have been approved. That's all. This is what regulation is all about. They have to know you're sending the coin to where, and you have a happy, ordinary person that's not a thief or a scammer, you'll be damn happy about this process. I'm perfectly fine with that. No different from me disclosing my bank account number to any authorities. No problem at all. So this is really fantastic news. And we kind of combine a scholar with a practitioner saying the same thing, all right? Benefiting from Biden's executive order. So all this point out to this very important paragraph right here. Here we go. In all these areas, I think regulation is certainly necessary because it's a bit of a wild, wild west right now. You have a lot of prospects for decentralization and the prospects of these new technologies potentially democratizing finance. This is what we have been aiming for all this time. And in fact, right over here, again, he stated very, very clearly, actually, it might end up benefiting the industry because ultimately what these sorts of regulations provide to the industry is legitimacy. And the conclusion, here we go. Overall, bring some regulatory clarity certainly is going to help the industry and potentially could also help harness the benefits of these new technologies by mitigating the risk. So where are we right now? We started with spot cryptos. You can buy Bitcoin, Ethereum on the spot. Then we move on to DeFi, decentralized finance, because we are all searching for higher use or interest return or APR, annual percentage rate. And this is where we beat the banks to the game. The banks are paying us only 0.05% per year. And then right now, the birth of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, you can take part and have verification. This is what NFT means. And over time, those who are early into the game for NFTs, your value simply creeps up. That is the power of the crypto regulation. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Dr. Clemen, today is Friday and we have invited the participant to pose questions. And here are a few questions. So first question from Pat Cole. So Pat Cole asks the question, he said, hello, may I ask, when is Ethereum 2.0 going to be launched and its implication on price? And it's a good time to get Ethereum 2.0. Thanks. Maybe Dr. Clemen, let me answer the first part and then you answer the second part, when is a good time to get, okay? Now, Pat, the Ethereum 2.0 is an amazing part of the development of this Ethereum blockchain. It's first originally planned to launch in 2019. However, there's a lot of delay and pushback, and the latest pushback is in June 2022, and they may push back again, but that was June 2022 is the date that they said, okay? But we never know. So the next part is actually for the expert, which is the investment part. Dr. Clemen, what is its implication and when is a good time to get Ethereum 2.0? To you, Dr.
Absolutely.
Clemen.
So the first thing that we need to do you have to ask this question, ask the right guy. And let me show you the right guy, this guy who looks like from ET. And that's Vitalik Buterin. All right. He's kind of the founder of Ethereum. He's living between Shanghai, Singapore, and somewhere else. All right. Now, he has been preaching about Ethereum 2.0. And we know the concept behind Ethereum 2.0 is a migration from proof of work to proof of stake. But what most people miss out the detail is this. Of course, you want to aim at the date, but this is something I'm also got a huge bunch of a backlog for my engineering team. It's something that we cannot predict accurately, because as you build out the products, there will be bugs. We have to debug and make sure it's hack-proof. So this is the part nobody can give you a fixed date. I don't think Vitalik can give you as well, but he probably give you maybe 2022, 2023, that kind of a fuzzy dates. All right. But what is really important is this number here. All right. And the number here I want to show you is coming from Ethereum.org. And I think I'm on the right space. And here we go. Proof of stake. All right. Hang on a minute. Let me just get this out for you. All right. Here we go. This is the real number that we should be chasing. Ready? Here we go. While you are waiting for them to kind of upgrade to Ethereum 2.0, my big question to all of you is, have you accumulated enough ethers? Have you accumulated enough ethers? Because the real number is right here. For you to take part in the proof of stake, you need to own 32 ethers, my friend. The number is more important than the date. So what if you know the date, but you can't take part in the proof of stake? You missed out the opportunity. So the game plan, what we set out for you is this. If we right now go and take a look at the price of Ether, all right, so I go on right here, kind of open up the price of Ether right now, and everybody can look at it openly, and that's ETH, USDT. Here we go. Dong. And please take out your calculator, all right? So I got a giant calculator right here. I read out to you price of Ether right now, 26. Just take it, it's 2,600. You multiply by 32 Ethers. Here we go. Let me give you the magical number. This is the real magical number you should be chasing. 32 ETH multiplied by 2,600. And the answer is, ladies and gentlemen, you need to stand by $83,200 to take part in the ETH 2.0 so that you can be part of the proof of stake. You don't have to work at all, but simply by staking your Ether, you're going to earn the rewards as a miner. That is the meaning of ETH 2.0. So to sum it up, the most important strategy is, how are you averaging out the purchase of 32 Ethers? Do you want to buy it at one go, bam? Or you want to commit a percentage of your salary or your income every month just to commit to keep buying Ethers regardless of the price movement? You decide on this strategy so that the day when they announce we are ready for the upgrade, congratulations, you can be part of the proof of stake. And I want you to be the first pioneer batch to stake the 32 Ethers. I can tell you the game is a first mover game. The first pioneer batch to stake will make the most money. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Well, thank you, Dr. Clemen, for this area of direction. I think that's very powerful and important, right? To look at, to prepare yourself for 32 Ether, then looking at the date. That's good. Now, Dr. Clemen, there's another question, and this question actually comes from Leon Lai. He asked two questions, but it's almost quite the same, related. First of all, the first question is this: since Bitcoin is only limited to 21 million, but after that, investor can still invest and own into the Bitcoin ETF. So what's the difference if supply is limited? And also connected to this is saying that if it's is it possible that after 21 million coin has finished, Bitcoin continue? Will someone or Bitcoin will continue to produce Bitcoin 2.0 or Bitcoin 2 for more, since it's an open source white paper?
Okay, thank you for the question. I think the person who's asking the question, probably this is the first time you chance upon Bitcoin. You have not really read in depth about the white paper of Bitcoin by Satoshi Nakamoto. All right. So step number one, to answer your question, look at again what I shared with you guys just now on the Bitcoin treasuries. Now, Bitcoin treasuries represents the fact that which are the different categories of people or organizations that are actively out there in the market buying up Bitcoins. So you mentioned ETF. Yes, ETF are exchange traded funds. You know, investors bought into the ETF so that step one, once the ETF received the money, step two, they take the money and be committed to buy Bitcoin in the open market. So ETF is one group of them. You are right. Second one, you're also competing with countries. Countries like US, they are going to start storing up Bitcoin because they are eventually going to launch their digital dollar for United States of America. And for every FX currency, whether it's fiat or crypto, you need a currency pair. They got to pledge it against the digital gold, which is Bitcoin. Step three, you're also looking at public companies like MicroStrategy from Michael Saylor. He's actively buying Bitcoin like crazy because he wants to be the #1 undisputed champion among public companies to own the highest number of Bitcoins in his bank account. They're also buying Bitcoin. Step four, private companies. Now, when we talk about private companies right over here, I mean, we are talking about many of them buying Bitcoin but not declaring to you. And we got another few more red boxes here. Can't tell you what is the identity because it's so secretive right now. I have to take part in Miami Bitcoin conference next month just to hang out with the whales and ask them, hey, where the heck you're hiding your Bitcoin? There's so many of us here fighting to own Bitcoin because we all know the game. 21 million is up. That's it. Game over. That's it. And the year 2032, that will be the 4th, 5th, 6th Bitcoin mining, what we call Bitcoin half reward event. And by then, 99% of the Bitcoin will have been mined already, circulating in the marketplace. So you decide, all right, which boxes that you belong here, step number one. And step number two, you're not going to have your version 2, version 3 coming out. Nobody's going to do that. Everybody's just going to focus. So you can forget about the idea someone's going to duplicate, copy, and this thing. You can think about that idea back in the first 3 years when it launched, 2008. Now, not a chance, fat hope. Everybody is really focused on building out the ecosystem for Bitcoin. Back to you, Richard.
Okay. Okay, so the last question here is from Lai Dion. So Lai Dion is asking Dr. Clemen this question. According to you, we should buy Bitcoin right now or wait for the price of it? It might lower by or to 33,000. Thank you, Dr. Clemen.
Yeah, you don't have to say according to me for Leon Lai or Lai Leon. Because if you have been following me, you have bought Bitcoin many years ago. I was among the pioneer batch to take a lead in the third halving event of Bitcoin in the year 2020, 12th of May. We bought average price of about $8,000 per coin. But back then versus now, so much things has happened. Back then, we got no data at all. We got no pioneers at all. We got no legendary folks like Michael Saylor. The only guy that was trading with me on that same day is this guy called Paul Tudor Jones. That's it. There's no other data to anchor, no leverage, psychologically, physically, anything that you talk about. It is just pure understanding what this instrument can change the world, the way we live, work, and play. Fast forward 2020 to today, 2022. You think about it. That short span of 2 years, how much things have happened. Yet with so much more data, are you still going to say, because Dr. Clemen tell me to buy, I go and buy? No. There's so many things. Between me and Richard, we've done 100 episodes of the YouTube series just on Bitcoin. Just Bitcoin to 100,000, 50 episodes. Before this, we have another series, another 50 episodes, total 100 episodes to be exact. So I encourage you, go and pick up your knowledge, because this is not the point in time you say, because you tell me to buy, I go and buy. It's because you found the passion and conviction to buy, and you do it on your own analysis. Because I got no influence over how you manage your money. What I have is this: I walk my talk, and I don't come here and bullshit all of you with paper theory, concepts, and strategies. No, we walk our talk. Every night I'm in the market. So I encourage you, do likewise, seek wisdom from the market, and God bless you. Back to you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Well, actually, there's one more question Pat Ko asked, but I'm going to answer this question. Pat Ko asked, may I know which of the NFT or which of the NFT coin has most potential to buy at this time? Sandboard, Excel, Mana, etc. Any potential new NFT coin coming up? So, Pat, I just want to share with you that we actually have a program coming up called a Global Metaverse Festival. And in this event, we will have many experts sharing about NFT and Metaverse. And you'll probably get a lot more answer to your question from this expert. Yeah, so maybe you can wait for that time. You attend the program called Global Metaverse Festival. And Dr. Clemen will be one of the speakers there too, right? So you go to that, and then we have a lot of speakers that actually specialize in this area. So let me just ask, go to the last question for Dr. Clemen. Dr. Clemen, the last question we have for you is this. Why did Katie Wood from Art Invest predict Bitcoin could exceed 1 million by 2030? Now we know that I have asked you this question before, and you have touched on this subject before, but in the light of what is currently happening right now, please share with us and point to us if this Katie Wood's claim or her statement is still valid.
Oh yes, Richard, absolutely. You know, this article that came out here about her prediction of Bitcoin hitting $1 million by the year 2030, to be exact, which is 8 years from now. All right. And if you talk about $500,000 prediction, that's by 2026. To be exact, that's 4 years from now. So we have 4 years milestone and an 8-year milestone. And my team, we put our brains together, really wrap around the thesis that she put out, and then we discuss together with our community of students. We say, what is the logic behind this? Can it hit the target? All right. So a few things for us to consider right now, which is back to the concept of the 4 I's I've been preaching at this moment. Number one, what is the inflationary environment we are living in today? Is it going up or going down? Are things becoming more and more expensive, or things becoming more and more cheaper? You and I know that the same bowl of noodle, you're going to pay more for it today. Even if you pay the same, the size of the noodle bowl probably got smaller because they use lesser ingredients. Now, this is exactly happening in my country. Holy moly, how the heck the bowl became like a V shape? Because the traditional bowl is like a U shape. You can store more ingredients. Right now, it became a V shape. Oh my God, they slash off a third of the ingredient, sell me at the same damn price, and I'm getting hungrier each time I eat the same bowl of noodle. Right? That is the concept of inflation. We are in a rising inflation environment. Number two, what is the environment for interest rate? This is the one that hit Wall Street, that started the Red Sea, and Moses refused to take a phone call. This is the problem right now. Interest rate for the first time in 20 years will start to go up. Gone were the good old days of free money, cheap money. Money is going to become more and more expensive. All right? Now, that also means that whatever mortgage that you're servicing today, whether it's for your house, for your car, for your education, you're going to pay more. And Wall Street is predicting that 7 consecutive interest rate hike. Let me calculate for you 7 consecutive interest rate hike. No need to go so far. Let's put it at 6, easier to count. Each time they hike 0.25, they hike 4 times, that's 1%. 6 times, that's 1.5%. So if the mortgage that you're paying your banks today is 3%, and because of the interest rate hike, it went by 1.5%, you're going to pay 4.5% overnight. Your fault? Or whose fault? Or the bank's fault? No, it's the US government fault. They take the lead. So you're going to be having lesser and lesser purchasing power because of a higher interest rate environment. Think about the second idea, interest rate. Third one, every one of us on Wall Street trying to predict when the bloody rock bottom of this Russian invasion into Ukraine. I think it's a bottomless pit. Because if I analyze it as a military officer, I say that this guy will not pull back. He will not start a war and look like a bloody fool in front of all the leaders in the world. He will press on. He will press on until he found a way to walk away gracefully. He's not going to walk away. The moment you start bombing schools and hospitals, he applied his KGB mindset to frighten them off so that all these Ukrainians will run out of the country, no one left behind to fight the Russians. That is a military tactic. So invasion will be prolonged. Number 4 is the investing style. Are we going to buy something cheap or buy something that is growing? Growth versus value. Now, these 4 you put together, all roads point to Bitcoin. This is the only coin that the NATO allies cannot control, that the Russians cannot control, the Chinese cannot control. This is the only coin the banks cannot have a grab over you. It's called decentralization. And this is the only asset class that has a fixed supply. No other asset class has a fixed supply except Bitcoin. You think about it, and then you think, okay, if these 4 conditions that teacher has been talking about will persist, and demand goes up for Bitcoin, supply remain fixed, what do you think about the price? That is the reason why this lady, her prediction will be accelerated right now with the 4 eyes I just presented to you. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you, Dr. Clemen. Here you are, Bitcoin journey to 100,000. Today's episode. We do our best to research facts and data from the market and present to you with all the facts and data. You can make an informed decision for your financial future. We remain bullish on Bitcoin, and secret to success is to wake up early as Dr. Clemen, work hard as Dr. Clemen, and own Bitcoin. Thank you and have a wonderful, wonderful day.
We believe that investing in our education
has the highest leverage and is the greatest equalizer.
Regardless of background, everyone can have the same opportunities with education.
We believe in doing what is right, not what is easy.
We believe in anything that is worth doing, we do it with passion and excellence.
We believe that happiness is the key to success.
If you love what you're doing, you're already successful. And that both success and failure are temporary, worth sharing about and even celebrating.
That said, we believe we have had our fair share of both.
Yay!
We believe that when the market is tough, we can be tougher.
We believe the best product should win, not the best sales pitch.
We believe that winners are winners because they don't quit.
We believe that the biggest sin is to make learning boring.
We believe in making decisions and owning our results.
We believe in innovation to continue to provide value to all around us.
We believe that together, everyone achieves more.
We believe that real leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders.
We believe that we can learn from our competitors.
We believe that women work harder, do better, and are more committed.
We believe it's okay to be proven wrong.
It's okay to change your mind.
And it's okay to cry when you're having a really rough day.
We believe in giving everyone the benefit of the doubt.
We believe in always saying please and thank you.
We believe that if dreaming is free, then we should dream big.
And then working hard to achieve it.
We believe that if we have knowledge, it's our duty to pass it down.
We believe that we shouldn't teach something we ourselves don't believe in.
We believe it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission.
We believe in saying sorry and meaning what we say.
We believe in being high-tech, means adding a human touch.
We believe that no one has all the answers.
Not even us.
But we go find out and we learn.
We believe that learning never ends, and once you stop learning,
you start dying.
We believe that one person
or one great idea
can change the world.
That's why we believe in helping you grow and succeed.
And with your help, we can change lives globally.
We believe.
We believe. We believe.
Thank you for your belief in us.